Doing all these videos on 11/11, by the way, for those of you that love special numbers. Oh man, this video is about understanding the nature of who you are, man. And I'm just going to go ahead and speak on my own experience with this, my own perspective. If you haven't already seen my video a long time ago about how I even came into a spiritual awakening and just just how I came into a spiritual awakening and what it meant for me and how I interacted with different entities, go look at that video. I didn't delve too far into the entities that I've talked to and met with, which, you know, again, somebody's probably going to watch this video and be like, bro, what kind of psychosis are you under? But just speaking about things where I've seen actual results and blah, blah, blah. So let's just get into it. Understanding the nature of who you actually are. The reason I wanted to make this video is because you have to understand once you begin to enter under and overstand, since we like fancy language, you will manifest everything you desire. You will at least manifest a well off life, depending on what that looks for you. It's just inevitable, it will happen. And I've started to see this in my own life. It's been absolutely insane. I mean, I documented my whole journey on the channel for you to go and look at and always refer to, which is the consciousness overdrive. And the reason I want to talk about understanding the nature of who you are is because along my journey, I've had people try to count me out. Now, again, I always say this, it's all love. I don't mean any ill will to anyone in my past. I'm just speaking from how that version of me saw things at the time. I mean, when I was going through my awakening, I went through the ringer. And it's very funny when I read stories of like Buddha and Christ and different sort of liberated beings that existed, because they were all met with opposition when understanding that they were one with God. Even in the four agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz also stated in these books, or in that book specifically, that a man realized he was God and tried to bring people together and get them to realize that they were also God, and he was looked at that he was crazy. But that's the thing that I find so funny when people talk about, oh, God is missing in the current day and age, or oh, what's all this new age bullshit and all that. But the irony is, if you have level headed people realizing their connection with the universe or God, and they're being authentically themselves without stepping on anyone else's path, which is what I literally say in this channel behind me, on my main channel, one of my main channels, is that you will literally have a system that auto corrects itself. Because if you truthfully feel like you're moving in the divine, but you're moving in a way where you see the benefit of humans, like you're doing the certain things that you're doing for the benefits, not just taking something that's literally taking away someone's rights or autonomy or et cetera, taking away their freedom, you're living by God. There's no way you can't be. Now, understand, I do believe in existence there's a reason for the dark, because if we didn't have the dark, we wouldn't recognize the light. But, in the grand scheme of things actually getting better with how people are saying, oh, so much is messed up in the world and all this, it's like, it's also your perception of it. And not only that, it's like, well, if you want to see a better world, you have to come to terms with realizing that you are God, and you're not praying for some fucking being to come down and fix it. You are the being that is here to fix it. And I feel like for certain people, that's taboo. But that's literally how I shifted and changed my life, and still continue to meet great people who invest in me, and I invest equally into them. And we're a community of people who truly thrive off of love. Now, I say this to say that I'm not trying to take away from what you believe if you're someone who's coming to this video. I don't know why you're coming here. It could be curiosity. It could be because you already resonate with what I say. It could be just, I don't know, maybe a dislike watch. I, I'm not sure. But I have to tell you, recognizing who you are just can't be separated from being a spiritual journey. It could be psychological all you want. But, but understand that it is single-handedly the most important thing you will do in your life. It will be. And it's just spiritual in nature. This is my video, so I shouldn't try to dance around and make the video accessible. I said on this channel I would talk spirituality, so let me talk it. This is just my shit. You are a spirit having a spiritual you are a spirit having an experience. The spiritual experience that you're having is to be human. Before this, You were one with God. You were in that kingdom of heaven that resides within your chest. But you came out of it and took definitions and conditions and systems, and you put yourself in a box essentially. And these conditions have hardened themselves to the point where you fight amongst others, and certain definitions and judgments of others keep you locked or rigid from really experiencing what the divine has to offer you. And my whole point of this video to you is just to hopefully one day let go of that box. Because when you let go of that box, and I'm just speaking from my own personal experience, I'm not trying to bring up studies, this, that, etc. But it's funny enough, you can find psychological studies for this stuff, which just cracks me up every time. Is that my overthinking went away. My judgments of when I was younger about people who looked like my own skin color went away. My misunderstandings and just of certain groups of people and everything, in which I want to clarify very, very clearly that when I was growing up anyways, I already kind of had this we are all one mindset. So when I say misunderstanding of certain groups of people, I'm really referring to my own race, because that's what I had to grow out of. Because in a way where I didn't pander to anyone conservative, I realized that conservative types of people really took a liking to me, and they still do to this day. And I don't know if it's because I just resonate with the frequency of truth and my truth, or what it is, but it seems like the people who fight for inclusivity and all of that seem to resonate with me less. And it's not all the way true. I do find amazing people, who are on the side of left when I'm talking in political spheres. But yeah, man, and it's very funny because I'm just being me. That's it at the end of the day. I've always said this. I'm separate from any politics, any this, any that. I'm just being Rel. I'm just being Solarfix Shift. I'm being Lunar Was Lost. I'm being whoever, whomever I choose to be. I don't let any fucking definition outside of myself define me. And I think that being truthfully authentic like that scares the fucking system. And I haven't even been being completely authentic. I have now with this channel. I'm learning to let go and let my mouth just run and open and talk to the camera as if I'm talking to my brother, And I just really hope with a video like this that each and every one of you who watch this video, you can find that within you, because I truthfully believe that's what creates the new world. It could be a childish belief, it could be a childish whatever. I just want to see the reality and where that works, where you can go to a job and not worry about a corporation scamming you out of proper pay and all of this stuff, and all of these aspects, in a place where immigrants can come in and we can crack down properly on crime, in a world where black people aren't just fucking reduced to a goddamn stereotype and all of this bullshit, because the crazy part too is I have all these amazing things in my bloodline: an indigenous background, a certain Native American tribes. I have Caribbean in me, I have Italian, my grandmother is white, one of my aunts is white. And but when I'm seen to certain individuals, I'm still reduced to a skin color. I love that because of my belief in my reality, I don't really attract individuals who just reduce me to my skin color, but it's been done before. And this is why I say I don't assign myself to one political side of the party, because the whole truth is, to my perspective, is the whole world needs to shift as an individual. It needs to be a bunch of individuals that come together as a collective to reform this whole thing. And I really think that process is done by knowing the truth of who you are, which is God. How else do you get to that realization? It's through God. Like, and wholeheartedly, I'm gonna hold this to y'all. Who the fuck am I to judge someone else, right? Listen, in a real judgmental way, like I'm talking hatred. The energy behind it is hatred, not like a criticism that may slightly dip into judgment. I'm talking true judgment for someone else. If I understand that I'm God and I'm one with Source, then why would I judge you? You're the same as me. I'm just God looking through the lens of Jarrell through, let's say, Mike, who's looking back at Jarrell. That's God. It's God looking through Mike. And I've saw and heard theories of books that talk about automatons, and I've even talked about it in the past, of like certain people who may not actually be in connection with God, but different other entities that still would be under source, because if they're in the universe, I mean, they're still cosmic entities looking through. To a degree, we're all connected to that same imaginative force, right? But who am I to judge you? I'll crack jokes and do shit and be me as I am. But that's why I really think, just through the recognition that you are source, how the fuck do you really get mad or upset at other people for certain actions? It really just really becomes an embodiment. Your energy becomes the embodiment of it is what it is, while still being able to take part in certain matters if you care deeply enough. That's the beauty of this shit. That's why I say spirituality doesn't look a certain way, you know? And it's so funny to me because, I had a family member that I talk about in the Consciousness Overdrive that tried to come at me for that. Tried to say, I thought you were spiritual. How are you thinking or talking this way? Oh, my apologies that you think spirituality is just defined by one set of way of being. What is it, crystals, astrology, and sticking sage up my butt crack? Like, what did you think spirituality was? Oh, it's the hippies. Those are spiritual people. Oh, it's the people over here wearing dashikis and this. Oh, it's the people that wear crosses. It's like, fuck out of here. And that's why I love who I am and always appreciate who I've stayed. And I know that that's why I'm magnetic to individuals, because I am operating and existing in a system that tries to eradicate my code, but it can't, because my code is source. And with that said, I'm out of here. Recognize who you are, because you are God. And I am God talking through you, showing you the real. I don't claim to be a prophet. That shit is corny to me. It's always been corny. But I've just got my own message. I'm a prophet for my own message. And it's just to recognize that you're one with God. And it's so funny because there's a guy who is sharing like this idea he has with AI with me. He's in my community. He's a fucking beautiful individual. And he asked me one day when we were driving, we had like a 2-hour drive back. And I remember him going like, oh, or like he said, I don't know if you're Christian or anything like that. Remember, now mind you, on the first day we met, he had asked me, or he had said, without me asking, without my partner asking, he had said, I don't really care what anybody believes in, as long as that thing that they believe in is like divine and it helps them just be a better person and treat others just the way they want to be treated in like the best, then that's good for me. Fast forward a couple of days after getting to know each other with this individual, and by the way, it's all love. I love this dude. He's fucking cool as hell. But this is just to show you for an example of what I mean on what happens is we're driving back this 2 hours, and there's one comment he made, and don't worry, it didn't kill the whole conversation. This was very early in our 2-hour journey back, which is fine. But he goes, are you Christian or whatever? Because and I said, nah, I'm indigenous. I believe in God in a different way. I don't really go into beliefs too deep with people. But he goes, well, you never know. Hang out around me long enough, and it's like, I don't think that he realized, which is okay. And I'm not saying this. I'm not fucking playing victim. I don't care. I don't think he realized that he just nullified all the stories that I told him. I told him previously in another drive, unless it was the same drive, how I had visions and I predicted my grandmother's death because I was getting premonitions. I guess that didn't come from the same thing he believed in or whatever. So, if I'm around him long enough, I'll tap in. And this is what I say. I never hold anything against these people. I just laugh because it's child. It's like a truthfully being in God's presence is like, it's childlike, it's imagination, and everyone is just in their own world. And that's what I've come to realize through God. So I don't even, these things don't even like like really cross my mind or phase me anymore. I'm just like, oh, this is what it is, and I laughed. I said, huh, yeah, maybe. I've done this to many people. I remember there was a time where I was working security where a guy asked me something like that, and it's just, or it's something different, but it just cracks me up because it's like that single-handedly how I'm acting and choosing to move in those moments and not act off of judgment, ego, show you how the world can shift. So many people are so locked in beliefs and whatever that it makes them so rigid and attack each other and fight. And I'm just like, That to me proves that my path of you realizing who you are as God, it only gives more validity to it, because when I'm in my own frame and I'm living in my own world, I don't need any external validation from anyone. I'm not seeking for anyone to understand my beliefs. I'm not like seeking for anyone to tell me why. Let me tell you why you're wrong. I don't care, and I don't seek to tell anyone else why they may be wrong, because everyone is right in their own perceptive reality. And then there's things that are objectively wrong or right. Hopefully I'm using that term right. But you know, just like, you know, certain things that happens with kids, or like human trafficking, sure, we can all agree that that is wrong, but when it comes to your connection to a source or a divine entity, I just, it's very hard. Like, it's such a nuanced argument. It's hard to just tell someone that what they believe in is fundamentally wrong, unless it's just being used to justify to oppress people. It's like, what, I don't know. Love you guys. I'm out.